Hey everyone, welcome back to Plot Unlocked. After years of wielding the Trident of Atlantis as Aquaman, Jason Momoa has finally become the DC character fans have been begging to see for years, Lobo. And after his explosive debut in Supergirl, it's safe to say the main man has officially arrived in the DC universe. But who exactly is Lobo? Why has DC been building toward his live-action debut for so long? And why do so many fans believe Jason Momoa was born to play this iconic bounty hunter? Long before James Gunn officially took over DC Studios, Momoa had one dream role in mind. In fact, the very day Gunn was announced as co-CEO of DC Studios, Momoa reportedly sent him a simple message that said just one word: Lobo. Now, that dream has finally become reality. With his brutal fighting style, sarcastic attitude, unstoppable healing abilities, and complete disregard for anyone's rules, Lobo instantly steals every scene he's in. But his appearance in Supergirl is just the beginning, because this debut could set up a much bigger future for one of DC's most dangerous anti-heroes. So today we're breaking down Lobo's comic book origins, his incredible powers and abilities, Jason Momoa's unforgettable debut in Supergirl, and what the future holds for the main man in James Gunn's new DC universe. Let's get into it. Lobo's DCU history explained, The Last Zarnian. In the original comics, Lobo's first appearance was back in 1983 with Omega Men #3 as a more straightforward alien villain, created by Roger Slifer and Keith Giffen. However, his popularity truly exploded during the 1990s when he became darker, with creators leaning more into satirical, non-serious depictions with his leather jacket, space hog, dreads, and all-around hyper-violent tendencies. Born on the peaceful planet of Sarnia, Lobo was nothing like his people and terrified his fellow Zarnians even as a child. Eventually, Lobo wiped out his entire species in a massive global genocide, making the main man unique in the DC universe as the last Zarnian. Seeing as how Zarnians can supposedly only be killed by other Zarnians, Lobo effectively granted himself immortality after killing his whole race with a massive virus, distributed by giant mutant flying scorpions, a feat he would describe as his high school science project. From that point on, Lobo gained an infamous reputation as the greatest bounty hunter in the galaxy, effectively doing whatever it takes to get the job done and never going back on his word. In more recent years, Lobo has become more of an anti-hero, having made temporary and uneasy alliances with a variety of different heroes, including Superman. As such, Lobo's role in Supergirl follows a similar trajectory. In the DCU, Lobo's history is kept simple yet accurate during his first appearance in Supergirl, with Kara explaining to Ruthie that Lobo is one of the galaxy's most dangerous bounty hunters, describing him as an immortal with a god complex who killed his entire planet. It's brief, though the description is certainly enough to help audiences understand Momoa's Lobo in the context of his supporting role. Lobo is as strong as Superman, powers and abilities. In the comics, Lobo is one of the few DC characters who can and has gone toe-to-toe with Superman. Like all Xarnians, Lobo possesses some immense strength and stamina, as well as an intense regenerative healing factor that would make even Deadpool and Wolverine jealous, as the main man can reconstitute himself from a single drop of blood. He can also survive extreme temperatures and the vacuum of space, hence his primary mode of transport being his signature space hog, allowing him to travel from world to world. It's also been established in the comics that Lobo has been banned from both heaven and hell. This means he can never truly stay dead, as his soul will simply inhabit another living being until his body is restored. Again, Lobo's only real major rivals are other Zarnians, Kryptonians like Superman and Supergirl, and New Gods. However, Lobo is also highly skilled with various weapons and firearms, preferring to wield a massive, gutting hook on a long chain and a variety of explosives. Keeping all that in mind, Supergirl faithfully depicts much of Lobo's classic look from the comics, his weapons, abilities, and space hog. However, it remains to be seen if some of the more extreme powers, like healing from a single drop of blood or his afterlife ban, have persisted in the on-screen DCU. Jason Momoa's role as Lobo in Supergirl and DCU Future explained. Although Jason Momoa's screen time in Supergirl is limited, it's all kinds of memorable. In the movie, Lobo is introduced on the planet Bilquis, hunting down a brigand named Drom Baxton whose death will grant the main man a major payday. This is how Lobo ends up crossing paths with Supergirl and Ruthie Mary Knoll, who are pursuing Creme of the Yellow Hills, attempting to claim his bounty. In the chaos when the brigands arrive to capture Kara and Ruthie, Lobo ends up setting his sights on all the brigands after they try to steal his space hog. Ultimately, Lobo is captured by the brigands and taken to Barrington, where he crosses paths with Supergirl and Ruthie once more after Ruthie sets him free, while he was no doubt biding his time and waiting for the right moment to break out on his own. Ruthie's help and tenacity did earn his respect. Recovering his space hog and decapitating his bounty, Lobo also saved Kara's life before blowing up the brigands' ship. Likewise, Lobo was also shown in the distance nodding his approval when Kara ultimately kills Creme at the end of Supergirl. Looking ahead, it would be incredibly surprising if we don't see Jason Momoa's Lobo again in future DCU projects. While nothing has been confirmed just yet, it has been reported that Lobo may appear in DC Studios' upcoming Starfire animated series, though it's unclear if Momoa will be voicing the main man or not. Naturally, it'd be pretty cool if he were, as it would effectively make Momoa the definitive Lobo actor in live action, an animation for the foreseeable future, which he would no doubt love. At any rate, it's going to be very exciting to see what's in store for Lobo in the DCU, especially after this debut appearance in Supergirl. And that wraps up our breakdown of Jason Momoa's explosive debut as Lobo in Supergirl. From his brutal powers and chaotic personality to his scene-stealing presence in the DCU, it's clear that the main man has officially arrived, and he's already shaking things up in a big way. But this is just the beginning, and the real question now is, how far will DC go with Lobo in future projects? Now I want to hear from you. What did you think of Jason Momoa as Lobo? Was this the perfect casting, or are you expecting even more from him in the DC universe going forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more DC, Marvel, movie breakdowns, character explainers, Easter eggs, and all the latest superhero updates from Plot Unlocked. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the DC universe, the main man always gets the last laugh. See you in the next video.